crank arm shorteners and how to install them. Hello, I'm John from FitKit Systems. If you've purchased a crank arm shortener and are having trouble putting it together or want to know how to do so in advance, got a few quick tips for you. So the first thing is we've got a couple of different styles, so there may be some different parts depending on which one you've got, as we source from a couple of different manufacturers. But get everything out of the box or the packaging, see what you've got. You may have some hex keys. You're going to have a couple of crank arm shorteners. You may have some other parts as well. There may be some Loctite. So we've got a few different things to make sure we've got it all laid out. A couple of things to pay attention to is that there's a left-hand side and a right-hand side. And so the left-hand side of the bike, think of it as if you were sitting on the bike. And so the left side is over here, the right side's where your gears are. And so just take a look at the imprint on the crank arm shortener. This has right H, RH for right-hand side, LH for left-hand side. So we need to sort of match sides appropriately. The reason for that is that the pedal hole threads here that you can screw a pedal into are threaded differently from left to right. So although it can be possible to mount these in reverse, you're not going to be able to thread the pedal in appropriately. So we sort out our left from our right. The next step is to attach what we need to attach. So there, if you've got the set screw version, set screws may or may not be installed. So we want to get those eased in, but we don't want them fully in like this. We want them just sort of backed out, so we've got full clearance in here. If you've got the cam style, you need to get out the cams, the washers, get those inserted, and we need to pick a side to screw those in on. How do we pick a side? This is a great question. We'll come to that in just a moment. There are two different attachment methods to attach the crank arm shortener to the existing pedal hole. So depending on your version, I'm going to take this one here. This is a left-hand side crank. I'm going to drop that on there. And then on these bolts, there's L or R, left or right. So we choose the right one. Left hand is left-hand thread. And it's easy when it's actually on the bike. Gonna get that thing started. Is it started? That's started. And then there's the supplied hex key. Gonna get that snug down. And you're gonna tighten it up. Now this still can move on the crank arm. And to stop that happening is where we want to then either wind in the set screws or tighten up the cams on there. So I'm going to demonstrate that here on this one in just a moment because it's a little easier to work on. Okay, so let's drop one on here, right-hand side. This one has a different attachment mechanism. It's got a flange that inserts from that side, a bolt that drops into a recess down the end here, like so, some thread locker on the threads. We're putting it over there and we're winding that bolt into the flange. So at this stage, we've then got to get this centered. And so what we want to do here with this is make sure this is not down like that or up like that, but we're centered there. And we're just taking the other little hex tool and we're pinching these in against it. This is for the set screw style, obviously here. So I'm just looking to get this pretty well centered. This doesn't have to be too tight. So this is not taking any strength. It's just stopping the crank arm sort of moving stopping the crank arm from pivoting here when you're pedaling. So that doesn't have to be too tight, just has to be firm. We've got that in. We're going to finish tightening. There we go. So making sure that's snug. And then the final decision to make is which hole you choose to attach the pedal to, and making sure you're choosing the right pedal side. So your right hand pedal will go in here. So you can have this length, this length, this length, or this length. Okay, so that's attaching the set screw style there. Let's come to the other side for a cam version. Cam version, you need to locate the attachment hole for that bolt. Then the cams are going to go on the other side here. So we've got these little cams and their bolts. We're going to just loosely attach these. So we don't want these tight yet. We want these to be able to move in and out and around. This is my, reading the fine print, left hand crank arm shortener. Actually, we've got that. So this is the flange bolt. Goes in there. I'll put this over here. So we've got that initially secured. Again, we can have an issue with this sort of moving up and down. We want to prevent that from happening. And so what we do here is we again want to center this. I'm going to have to face my way a little bit, but we're looking to have those cams come in and center the body of the crank arm shortener in line with the crank arm itself. Once we've done that, we can squeeze those in and snug those cams up. This is going to be a little fiddlier on your own bike without the frame cut away. So when that's done, I'm just checking that should be nicely in line there. So then we really just want to go through and retighten the two cams and the main securing bolt. And once we've done that, we're ready to choose a hole to attach our pedal. So we can see here those cams are taking up the full width of the crank arm. We've got great contact here to help keep that secure. I think that's it. That should get you going.